Ahead of the Cheltenham Festival, we've come down here to Ditcheat to talk to Paul Nicholls, a 50-time festival-winning trainer. We're going to talk all things Harry Cobden, no drama this end, the season so far, and his other leading lights heading into the spring. Come on, let's take a look.
It's Seymour business, Gordo Star, masterminded, Demon is destroying them, it's big bucks, thrown on the far side, pulled well Potter.
Yeah, strong horse, yeah. All right? Okay? All okay?
Paul, thanks so much for having us down this morning. The Cheltenham Festival is on the horizon. You've won pretty much everything there is to win when it comes to jumps racing. How much do you still get excited about the festival?
Oh, you're bound to get excited about the festival. It's the Olympics of our sport, really. It's what showcases everything in jump racing. And you want to have horses to compete in the highest level, and to have a few horses that are good enough is, you know, really exciting.
From what you have achieved, what does Cheltenham mean to you personally?
It's just fantastic to have winners there. I mean, I've been very lucky to win 4 Gold Cups, and I can tell you there's no feeling like going into that winners enclosure when you've just won the Gold Cup. With any of those special horses, there's no feeling like it. For all the hard work and everything you go through to win those races, those special races at Cheltenham, is just amazing.
It's not the be-all and end-all. No. There are other races to win. But how much does the Cheltenham Festival drive you? How much does getting Cheltenham Festival winners drive this operation and you personally?
Winners drive me, to be honest with you. Like you say, it's not all about Cheltenham, but we all love having winners at Cheltenham. And when you've got those very special horses to run in those top races, it's it's what you eat and breathe and sleep in that time when you've got them. But you know, it is just fantastic. Especially those big races, you know, we've got horses running Gold Cups, Champion Chases. It's fantastic.
And year on year you go into the Cheltenham Festival with chances. That's no different this year. But how do you reflect on this season so far in general?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, as we talk now, we've had 72 winners, getting on for $1.5 million in prize money. We're getting some nice young horses coming through, and that's good. And we just keep on, you know, if I could get the 2 million prize money, which we should do. Again, I think we've had 2 million in prize money every year since 2003. Crack on nearly 100 winners. We'll be getting very close to that magical 4,000 winners, which I've always wanted to do. So yeah, it's been a good season. We just need a few more nice young horses coming through. It's like anything, like a football team, you need to keep finding new players that can compete at the top level.
From your own lofty standards, there's been noise in the media that Paul Nicholls isn't the force of old, all of that. Do you think that's fair?
Look, if you look at the back of the day when you look in that front, there was Gordo Star, Demon, Masterminded, Neptune Colonge, Big Bucks. So, and then all at one time, you're going to be a huge force like Willie was. But it goes in cycles. We got the best out of all those horses when all those wonderful races. Once they retire, then they're not so easy to replace. They're almost horses of a lifetime. I've been incredibly lucky to have had them and done what they've achieved, and anything on top of that is almost a bonus. Then Silvanarca Conti came along, Clan Desabo came along, Braveman's Game, always keep coming along, keep producing the horses, but never going to have that number of high-class horses. That was unheard of, those ones we had then, and Willie's almost doing that now. So if you've got those players in your team, you're going to win everything. But once they retire and move on, you've got to try and get some new players, and it's not so easy.
Did you flip it around though? Do you take a bit of pride in? So last year, people were saying, you know, it was a below par year for you. Yet you won 3 Grade 1s. Yeah. You won the Paddy Power Gold Cup, the Coral Gold Cup. You had 3 Aintree winners and a Cheltenham Festival winner,
and a 50th Cheltenham winner as well. So yeah, it just makes me laugh. I mean, I think
it's not bad going, is it?
No,
for a below
it was
par
a fantastic season, and you know, sometimes expectations are too high. I don't know what they expect. You cannot, as I said, no football team wins a premiership every league, every year. It's impossible, because it's just impossible, because things move on and change, and as I said, horses retire, people retire. But yeah, we're consistent, and as I said, we're cracking on for nearly 4,000 winners. Very happy with that.
What does that mean then for your training operations? When people say that type of thing and numbers are slightly below what they possibly were at the very peak, what does that mean you do? Do you buy more? Do you change things? Do you have to change things, or do you just keep doing what you're doing?
You just keep doing what you're doing. You can't change things. You always modernise, always updating facilities. We've got some fantastic facilities and a great team. It is all about the players in your team. It is, I can't stress enough, it's all about, and if you think over the years how there's wonderful owners, Paul Barber, Andy Stewart, Graham Roach, John Hales, I go on and on. They were fantastic loyal guys, and they've all died now. So they're not that easy to replace with people with the cash that they had and the love for the game and the passion. So it's just finding new people, new investors to buy some more horses. And we're very lucky that people are starting to invest heavily again. We bought some nice young horses, and you just got to keep going forward.
Top of the game is out in front, leads by a half length, and top of the game has taken the RSA.
Possibly a changing of an era with Harry Cobden getting the JP McManus job. When did you first hear that this was a possibility?
I think I heard 24 hours after they had a meeting.
Right.
One of the journalists came up to me and said, "Oh, can you comment on the fact that Harry's got the stable jockey's job at McManus's?" And I said, "That's rubbish, I know." And Harry didn't even know, I don't think, or I don't know. But there's been sorts of rumours. But Harry came and told me himself the situation, and
what was your reaction to that?
Well, disappointed in a lot of ways because he's done so well for us, but there's no way you could get in his way and stop and once in a lifetime opportunity, isn't it?
He's ridden the most winners any jockey's ever ridden for you.
Yeah.
You've shared £15 million worth of prize money together. How would you look back on your time with Harry as number one?
Well, we had a great time. He came here when he was 16. We've been good for each other. Still being here at schooling and riding work and part of the team, and he'll also ride plenty of winners. But obviously he's going to be retained, by JP, and that's worth plenty of money for him. And Harry is money orientated, so it's a good job for him. And they're very proud of what he's achieved, and and be watching his career from now onwards with enormous pride, really.
He is now taking on a different role, one that we've only seen from Barry Geraghty, both Ireland and Britain, AP McCoy. Do you think, from what you've seen of him, he's very much capable of slotting into that in both sides of the Irish Sea?
Oh, I mean, it's going to be a big change. And it's not going to be easy keeping everybody happy. And to ride lots of horses both sides of the Irish Sea, I don't know quite how that'll work. But if he's got the pick of them, then that's up to him to get it right, and he'll be fine. I mean, he's so laid back. Racing's not the be all and end all of everything. Harry, he's into his farm, and he goes. When he's got a day off from riding, he's doing something else. So he's got the right temperament, that's for sure.
And you mentioned that he's still going to be riding here, but what does him getting the JP job mean for this training operation? Is someone going to come in and take more rides? There's lots of talk about Sam Twiston-Davies and this infamous going for a beer and working things out. What's going to happen?
Well, look, I mean, obviously, Harry, as I said, will still come in and ride out in school for us and ride when he can. I'm hoping that because of that, JP might send us a few horses that he can ride. I mean, the Sam thing's, but it's everything gets blown out of all proportion with Sam. So I was going to have a pint with Paul, to have a meeting. But look, it's a case. We've got some good jockeys now: Freddie Ginger, Jay Tidball, Freddie Keithley, to name a few, and they're doing well. But in my view, is that Freddie's done very well, Freddie Ginger, but he's not really ready to be number one yet. That won't suit all the owners, it won't suit everybody. He just needs that much more experience, and he needs somebody to ride some of the top horses, the Grade 1 horses and Grade 1 races. So Sam's the obvious choice, really. We've done well before, and it'll only be a loose arrangement. There won't be no retainers or anything. No one's ever had a retainer here. But just be that if you're free and we've got some good horses to ride, hopefully Sam will be first in line.
Is that something that you'd want to build towards, ideally, in a couple of years, where you have one jockey like you have had with Harry back riding all of them?
We'll see what happens. It's just if someone's good enough and it works out and suits everybody, then why not? But we got some wonderful jockeys in the team, and it won't be a problem.
No drama this end, produced by Harry Cobden, horse with a big reputation, and it looks really deserved here at Cheltenham today. No drama this end.
I feel like even now, with the amount of winners that you've had, you say nearly 4,000 winners, when a young horse comes along like No Drama This End, it still lights that fire in you, and you're like, this could be anything.
Exactly, of course it does, and that's what you want, horses to compete at that top level, and they're very special horses, and we had a great record over the years with all those good horses, and to be able to get, I've won 4 Gold Cups, I'd like nothing more than to win a 5th one, so we can get the right horse one day, we'll give it a good go.
Well, at the start of this season, we saw No Drama This End pitched in at quite a high level at Cheltenham in a Grade 2, on hurdling debut, good bumper form, ran in the champion bumper, and then he did what he did, which was something else. Afterwards, you came out and said, you mentioned, you uttered the word Denman, and people jumped on you and said, whoa, too much too soon. Are you a little bit happy with what he's done since?
Well, of course I am. Look, he's won 2 Grade 2s and a Grade 1 and 3 runs over hurdles. Denman didn't do that. He won 2 a maiden hurdle and something at Wincanton. Won a Challow, and then got beat at Cheltenham. But I actually said, I think, if ever I've got a horse that might be a Denman, it could be him.
And
didn't say he was, might and could. And I still think he could be. I mean, he's got a lot of natural ability, a lot of size and scope. He needs to be lucky, he needs to stay sound like Denman did and just keep progressing. He wants plenty of work. 2 totally different horses. He's a bit like Denman in that, and I'm not comparing him as like everyone gets carried away, as he's a tank of a thing. He'd take so much work. When Corto he was a bit like him, didn't need a load of work, he was fit. Denman was fat as a pig all the time, needed loads, and he's the same. If you weren't careful, you look at him every day and still think he looks fat, so he wants plenty, but you know, we got 3 weeks left just to fine tune him, which is perfect.
what did you expect at Cheltenham that first day?
I thought he'd run well, but I mean, I didn't necessarily expect him to win like that, because he doesn't show you a lot at home. Denman was just like that, showed you nothing at home, and before we ran Denman, first time we went Canton, we didn't have a clue what we had. And to be honest with you, no drama saying, don't show a lot at home, just workmanlike, but on the track they've got it. And when you saw that first run, you think, oh, he's improved on last year physically, he's obviously got plenty of ability, and then he just kept progressing.
How much has he progressed? What did you learn from each of those runs? So he went to Cheltenham, he went to Sandown, then he's last seen winning the Shallow at Newbury and Grade 1 Company. What were you most satisfied with each run?
We just kept his jumping ability. He did it different ways. The last time at Newbury, he had to go on fast ground and make the running, which didn't suit him really. But just, I mean, and I ran him 3 times fairly quickly. I wasn't going to go for the Challow to Sandown, between Cheltenham and the Challow. And then I thought, oh, no, he's fitting well. Let's go. If we have 3 runs at Christmas, we give him a little break and come back now. But I just love the way he jumps and travels, arrives there on the bridle. I think he's had 1 slap down the shoulder in all his races, and that was at Newbury, and he just took off. I think there's lots to come yet, you know.
How much more is there to come?
Who knows? I mean, horses progress from year to year, don't they? And so I think with another summer on him and probably stepping up to 3 miles, jumping fences, you'll see more improvement.
He's the current favourite for the Turners at the Cheltenham Festival. You have won the Shallow Hurdle with 3 horses that went on to the Turners in recent years and got beat. Brave Man's Game, Stage Star, Hermes Allen. Why is No Drama This End different?
Well, if you go back to like Brave Man's Game, it wasn't such a bad thing he got beaten, because he ended up winning King George's, didn't he? I don't know. He's got class. Yeah, he is definitely. He's definitely got class. Hermes Allen was a horse who I think overperformed, to be honest with you, but he won the Challow very well. Didn't perform quite well at Cheltenham. And Brave Man's Game wasn't ever his favourite track necessarily at Cheltenham, but he was always better on a flat track like Kempton. No Drama seems to, obviously, he acted at Cheltenham and Sandown. It seemed to quite suit him, and I just think, I mean, Denman, as you said, got beat in the, but I think if Ruby looked back and I look back at the race, we may have ridden him differently. But what chases they made afterwards, it's not all about the Turners, winning the Turners, all about the future. All those horses that ran in those races you've just mentioned were all fantastically top-class chasers and won top-class races, and win, lose or draw at Cheltenham, we will be a top-class chaser. I've got no doubt about that.
And that's what you're thinking about.
You're thinking of that's our main aim.
Open Grade 1 chases 2 years down the line, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we'd like to think. Yeah, and I mean, I know that. Yeah, that's what we do this for. You know, and have runners in. You know, you would like. I mean, Paul Barber also used to say to me, you want to buy a horse who can carry 12 stone and get 3 miles and be a Gold Cup horse. Well, if you see No Drama this end, he's a typical Paul Barber horse.
I have heard you say, though, recently that the one race that you would quite like to win at the festival this year is the Turners, because you've not won it before. So going to that race, do you see anything in Ireland? Because Willie Mullins often chucks a horse out that looks really smart and normally wins the race as well. Have you seen anything that you go, oh, I'm not sure about that?
There's plenty of nice horses, obviously, of course there are. But I'd like to think they're thinking we're the one to beat. But, you know, there are some nice horses. I think Active Innocence is a very smart horse, so, you know, he could run really well. And yeah, no one seems to know which ones of the Irish horses are going to run, but there are smart. It's a Grade 1 novice hurdle for the best novice. There's going to be some good opposition. Obviously, it's not going to be no cakewalk. There
were some horses that left this yard over the summer, Cabra de Matan, Old Park Star, Active Innocence, that have done supremely well. Ginny's Destiny.
It was about 16 in all.
Real quality, and they've gone on to do good things. But a lot of their trainers, Nicky Henderson and Dan Skelton, have credited you for the work that you did with them last year. Is it frustrating? Is there a pride there? Is it? What's the feeling when it comes to
that? It's frustrating, of course it is. You're not going to say anything, you know. else, and to have bought those horses, to given them time, to taught them how to jump, and not been too hard on them, so there was plenty for them to work on. It's tough to see what they're doing. You imagine that we've had a great season. We imagine we said Cabra de Matan, Act of Innocence, Old Part Star, well, Gin is Destiny, though Gin is not run this year, so I assume he's had a problem. And all some of the youngsters, you know, we'd have been in a fantastic position. But look, these things happen. We all got to move on from it, and I think now we have really. But I found it very, very disappointing, I've got to say. You know, I thought I'd become really close friends with Gordon Sue Hall and Neil Smith. And when they suddenly say the horses aren't coming back, but don't really give you a reason, it's tough. But we all move on, and I know Gordon Hall shook my hand after Minella Yoga beat him at Newbury, and I know full well if Act of Innocence beat us at Cheltenham, I'd shake his hand. So you've got to move on. They obviously got their reasons for doing that. There might be people that move their horses all the time. Well, I know Gordon and Sue have moved from several trainers over the years. Perhaps that's the way they feel like they do things. It's entirely up to them, but I wish them all the best of luck with them all and vice versa. And yeah, it was a kick in the teeth, but we just got to get over it and move on.
Have any of those horses surprised you?
Not really, because they just needed time. Old Park Star in particular was a big backward horse who wasn't a bumper horse, who was always going to be better over hurdles, but he probably surprised me the most. Act of Innocence I knew was high class, and Cabra de Matan, well, we did really well with him. He won some nice races, was second in 3 really smart handicap hurdles. It was always going to be a better horse once he'd had his wind done, which we knew, and of course did his wind in the summer, and he's progressed. Of course you knew they were good, but as I said, let's all move on.
Regent Stroll this year goes to the Jack Richards Novices Chase, which he won last year with Coldwell Potter, and they don't have dissimilar profiles. Coldwell Potter had this lofty reputation given novice hurdle form, like Regent Stroll. They probably were slightly underwhelming what they did before the Cheltenham Festival, and then they went to a race which they were on a nice mark in Coldwell Potter, and he went and won. Do you see similarities between him and Regent Stroll?
Well, they're both class horses, that's the biggest similarities, but they're different in lots of ways. But, you know, Coldwell Potter, we were learning about him all the time, and John was convinced he was a 2-miler, but I always thought he wanted a trip, and once we'd worked out, it was fairly obvious that he was well handicapped. And I thought, you know, there was this big thing he wanted heavy ground because he'd won on heavy ground. I think that was circumstance. That I thought he was better horse on better ground, which he proved in the 2 races at Cheltenham and Aintree. But
with Regent Stroll then, he goes into the Jack Richards off a pound lighter, but he's got grade 1 novice hurdle form. I mean, we saw him this morning, he looked an absolute picture.
Best he's looked. Best mentally he is at the moment. He's learning all the time. Going to Cheltenham on New Year's Day was the best thing we could have done. He learnt about Cheltenham, he learnt an awful lot that day. I know I can get him way better than I had him then. He'd had 3 quick runs. The first time he was too fresh and exuberant at Newbury, and how he ran as well as he did being so keen. Then at Wincanton he just had a canter run really, but got some experience and he ran very well. Some horses like Coldwell Potter are asleep, laid back, and you've got to wake him up. He's a complete opposite, but he's getting there. And he'll just keep improving. And we've only scratched the surface with Regent Stroll.
That would have done the world
Absolutely.
Good actually, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
What do you think about his handicap mark of 145?
Very fair.
Very fair.
Yeah. Well, he's nearly a grade 1 horse, isn't he, off 145, so that's the sort of mark you want to be. You know, that's fair.
You're always looking long term. You're always looking at Kempton and King George's. Could you see him following the Coldwell Potter route if he was to run really well at the Cheltenham Festival and be stepped up to 3 miles at something like Aintree, with a view then to Christmas, Kempton, King George?
Well, look, take it step by step, but my plan was always to go to Cheltenham and then if it was right, have a crack at Aintree over 3 miles. Bit of decent ground. It always struck me that perhaps he's a sort of horse who could be a King George horse. As I said, the relative comparison with Clan des Avaux and Frodon, they were, you know, they didn't blow the world away as novices, but they got better and better as they improved. And my view is he's as good as those two.
It's Kalif Du Berlais from Brookie as they head up towards the line. It's Kalif Du Berlais under Harry Cobden to win the Muggle Novices Steeplechase.
One of the worst days of my career, I have to say, was when Kalif got killed at Kempton a month ago. I found that very hard. I had so much belief in that horse. He'd only just turned 6, and I think he had the world at his feet. And he was one of those horses that was going to get better as he matured. He was 2.5 mile plus was going to be his trip, and he was such a nice character, and he didn't deserve. No horse deserves to lose a life racing, but it was just, you know, he was so bullish, and he was just like jumping. He just made one error that cost him his life, as it were. And I did find that very hard. I have to say, it knocked me for 6, and that's the first time it's ever really affected me like that. And I found that very hard. And you know, horses like that don't come along every day. And you know, he'd won all those nice hurdle races, a fantastic Grade 1 winning chaser, and was going to progress as he got older, especially over a trip. And I felt we had him right that day at Kempton, and we were so unlucky. And it just affects the whole team, from the people that look after him, and Olive rode him every day, Sash looked after him. It knocks everybody for 6, but I found that, luckily I was away the week after that happened, it just helped me a little bit, but I found that very tough, and that's a hard part of the game.
Obviously fatalities are really sad, but we only see what happens on the racetrack on the day. But it does affect a massive team, and especially with a horse like that, because you would have had dreams about what that horse could have achieved, and he achieved a lot in the short career.
It's hard on everybody, and you know, he was one of those horses that he was, you know, I was very fond of him. I was really, you know, he's some horses you are and some you aren't. I was very fond of him. He was such a character and such a class horse, and it's a massive blow for everyone and for the owners, the whole team. It's not nice when it happens, but that's what I say. You have to make the good days count. Stay away, Faye. Just here. 300 through 5. Bullcrop has Papa. And Captain T, that's all tomorrow's runners.
Between Regent, Stroll and No Drama This End, who would you say your best chance at the festival is?
I think they've both equally got good chances, competitive races. I think No Drama, I'm sure we haven't seen the best of him yet, but I think you'll see the best of him as a chaser, so I'm not necessarily, you know, the best to be seen. He's not, he's good enough to win, obviously, of course he is, but he's not a hurdler. The best of him will be when he goes chasing. But I think they've both got very good chances. It's nice to have two horses like that with good chances.
It's been an amazing season. Probably a little bit slow to get going through the summer, but have really enjoyed. Good win on Veriflay at Kempton. Fassol has been amazing to me, so yeah, hopefully we can get going again now.
She's done very well. She's run some lovely winners and doing well. She had a nasty fall at Hereford the other day that's kept her off for a fortnight. But you know, hopefully she'll have the pick of this or Golden Sun in the Fox Hunters. You
had it with Meg as well, but how proud does it make you when you're training winners that your daughters are riding?
Oh, it's fantastic seeing them ride winners, and makes you nervous. You don't like seeing them have falls, but it's great. I think Olive's long-term aim would like to be to train. She's got no intention of making a career out of riding. She's done well, and Megan was the same. She enjoyed what she's doing. She's doing very well now with all her media stuff and for ITV, so it's good to see them doing well.
We might not have the quantity of horses we used to, but you know, they're still going out and firing and running how they should. And I think, you know, that gives us a bit more fire in the belly to keep going.
How excited are you about No Drama This End?
You can't not be.
Are you going to Cheltenham that day? You can't
well,
miss that,
I hope so. I hope so.
He's just done everything right. Can you tell that with horses like that your dad, there's just a fire in the belly that just gets him really excited?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the manner in which he's won is so exciting, and you think, you know, what can he do if we turn the taps on?
Olive?
I love the training side of it. I love doing bits at home, and especially with lots of babies, getting them going. Before I came here, I did a couple of years with my own pointing and pre-training yard. I really enjoyed that. It's nice to see them from the off, and yeah, love that side.
What is it about that side of things that you really enjoy?
I think it's exciting. You know, you see them, especially I've had horses from yearlings, getting them going, and you know, 3-year-old jumpers, getting them going with the jumping, and I think it's exciting to see what they could potentially go and do and get them going in the right way.
Have you confirmed a ride for Cheltenham yet?
Well, we've got a couple qualified for the Fox Hunter, so not sure which we'll take yet, but and maybe one in Kimura, and yeah, so that'd be exciting.
Well, talking of training, someone's going to have to take over here one day.
Yeah, exactly.
And it might just be you.
Well, hopefully, yeah, that'd be the dream.
Another interesting horse is Quebecois going to the festival, who, I mean, at the start of the season, I must admit I was a little bit disappointed with him. I think you were as well. But his last start at Cheltenham in a race that does produce Cheltenham Festival winners, he looked reformed. Yeah, well, that's been a good race for us. I mean, Ginner's Destiny won the race, Stage Star won the race, and look what they achieved afterwards, and especially Stage Star. Definitely a better horse going left-handed. We've worked that out. His form right-handed is not so good. He ran very well at Cheltenham. I was surprised exactly how well he ran,
in what it's always turned out to be a good race. Now, he's qualified for the Jack Richards, but I've always thought that I'd like to run him the Ultima for Max. Max McNeil's never had a Cheltenham winner. To have a Cheltenham winner and possibly be close in the Ultima would be fantastic for him. So he's got to have a 4th run, which will be at Newbury in a 2-mile novice chase. And then he can go and either, we got the option of the Plate or the Ultima and the Jack Richards. But he travelled well and jumped well, and I think the best of him is yet to come. Doesn't want the ground too soft.
Max McNeil is a fantastic character. I loved the celebrations at Newbury between you, Max, and the whole at the Barbers as well. Everyone was there. It was fantastic. I think personally that's what this sport is all about.
100%.
You've got to give it some, haven't you, when you win?
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about. And Max and his family and the Barber family have got a close relationship now. To have a horse like No Drama is fantastic. And yeah, you've got to enjoy it. You know, no point being glum about these things. Enjoy it, and I think everyone enjoys seeing that enthusiasm from Max. And yeah, it's good. I
agree. In a world where you can't celebrate too much, do you agree with that?
No. I mean, you saw me when Minella Yoga beat Active Innocence. You're not going to stand there and say, "Oh, that was good." You work hard. It's all about winners, and you work hard. It means a lot when you have winners, and you want to celebrate that.
How important is this horse to this team?
Well, I think he's very important. He knows a class horse, and it's fantastic position to be in. Don't get me wrong, and very privileged and humbled to be in that situation at the time. But it's a lot of pressure because you want to get it right. You don't want to let anybody down. That's what I hate doing more than anything, is letting people down.
How will you feel when No Drama this end is going to post? Do you
look forward to it?
Looking forward to it?
Yeah, we're nervous. I always am, but we'll look forward to it, and we've done our job. We can't do any more. We're trying to produce him in the best shape we possibly can. And at the moment, I'm very, very happy with him. He looks good. Amanda, who rides him every day, is pleased with him. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's it for our visit here in Somerset. Paul Nicholls will certainly go to the 2026 Cheltenham Festival with good chances. But one thing is clear, the fire still burns bright here in Ditcheat.